she's horrible. I've made a ghastly, ghastly mistake.
So yesterday, Deadline said that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny came in at 130 million global box office. Today, the number changed up to 140, probably adding countries that had just opened. So let's talk about it. How does this affect Kathleen Kennedy? So, as has been reported by me and others, there was a board meeting last week, and there's a financial audit by Disney of Lucasfilm books going on right now. We have it on good authority that 5 executives showed up at Lucasfilm on Thursday and demanded to see the email and financial records of Kathy Kennedy. She's been suspended. Now, I'm going to say this. It is not, she's been completely taken off of the server. But she's also not posting a message saying, I will be out of the office from dates July 1st to July 14th. Please contact Lin-Wen Brennan with your questions. And then the name of the person, okay? George Bluefin. Okay, well, or Kathleen Kennedy. That's what you do. And we have it on good authority that's not what's going on. Let's put it this way. Address not found is happening. Okay, so why? Well, again, we've got the failure of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And 130, 140 million isn't great, but it's also another piece of information that Bob Iger and the board can use to get rid of Kathleen Kennedy. Now, is it enough? I think it is. All right. But then we have the Acolyte. And we know for a fact they're being sued over it, Lucasfilm. We know for a fact this woman right here, Harvey's former personal assistant, did not pay her corporate licensing fees in England. So this month all that so-called filming they did could end up being property of the Crown. And of course, again, we have this. And because the word chain of custody came up, I really think this is bigger than just Kennedy not keeping a good budget. Like I said yesterday, I'm pretty sure that the guys that were in the Lucasfilm offices, they probably could still be there, by the way, were lawyers, okay, and accountants, all right? And, you know, you got to think, was she skimming money from other shows? Was she getting money from other shows across Disney? Did this guy, her husband, Frank Marshall, help her finance whatever they had? And again, you got to ask, why? Why was it so important for her to have this going on? And why, when she was told no, that she just did it anyway? A lot of questions going on, and there are questions that need to be asked. To me, when I look at the stubbornness of Kennedy in this fiasco at Lucasfilm, it's pathological. She could not accept it, that she was basically being elbowed out, moved out by Iger, and that started in 2018 when we discovered that Jon Favreau had approached Bob Iger and said, I can make it better. And Iger gave him a chance, and he did. I mean, when Kennedy wasn't harassing Favreau, he made great Star Wars, okay?
There is a danger. Should I have your ship standing by?
Evacuate? In our moment of triumph?
I think you overestimate their chances.
The fleet has moved out to flight speed and we're preparing to...
You have failed me for the last time, Admiral. Apology accepted, Captain Nita.
And speaking of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, those two seem extremely quiet right now. I do know that, and we've been told that Jon Favreau has basically access to everything at Lucasfilm now, but he hasn't been seen. He did not go to the LA premiere of Dial of Destiny, and if he did, both he and Filoni were very low-key and didn't get pictures on the red carpet. They've been keeping their heads down for a reason. And I think this actually, because they've been quiet, and doing some PR for Ahsoka, is saying a lot about what's going on at Lucasfilm. We know that Kennedy's been put on 2 weeks paid leave. And that, a lot of people are like, oh, she's on vacation. Nah. Like I said, she would have put a message saying she was not going to be in the office for 2 weeks. And let's put it this way, that's not what's going on with her email. I can't tell you how I know that, but I know that's not what's going on with her email. Okay. Usually 2 weeks to get your shit together and go is what a company will give you. Now, apparently, there's supposed to be a meeting between Iger and Kennedy on Wednesday, which a long weekend would be the perfect time to say, go. Like now, go. Okay? So Disney can announce it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's real or not. We haven't heard from Raven or Bluebird or Sparrow on it. So I would say that rumor I take with a grain of salt. As far as trying to rationalize her not being in the office for 2 weeks, that's the rationalizations of someone who is very happy being unhappy. And really probably wouldn't know what to do if she was gone. Okay, so there you go with that. But look, Iger has got a lot of crap he's got to deal with through her misadventures. And obviously the biggest one I think is actually the Acolyte. Indiana Jones, look, when Iger did not let an embargo on the Cannes Film Festival for the reviews of Indiana Jones to happen, and basically did not have public test screenings, which is Joe Blow off the street. He wanted it to bomb. Okay, he wanted to use it against Kennedy to get rid of her. And this is what we're seeing right now, is that all of the trades are calling out Lucasfilm for how dismal but the box office is for Indiana Jones 5. Meanwhile, we've got the Acolyte stuff and the investigation going on at Lucasfilm under wraps. No one's talking about it. And both of these things are a perfect storm. Now, I don't know what is going to happen later this week, but as far as I can tell, there are going to be major changes coming to Lucasfilm. And again, you know, we've been saying to the flying monkeys, get out while you can, and yet they're still there. And she can't protect them. And because she can't protect herself anymore. And this could implicate Frank Marshall too, at least with Indiana Jones. And if it's discovered she was taking either her own money and putting it to the Acolyte, or Marshall's money, putting it to the Acolyte, going against what Iger instructed her to do, that's major insubordination. And she's been insubordinate with Iger and Chapek from the very beginning. This is pathological. She actually really does believe her own bullshit. And she doesn't think what she's done is bad. This is really kind of, we're in uncharted territory, and it's not just her ego. It's, like I said, pathological. There's something definitely wrong with her, and the fact that her husband is part of this, at least with Indiana Jones 5, says that there's something wrong with him too. All right? If you could look at this movie, the way it was written at first, and see just how bad it was going to be, and you still liked it, and you're Frank Marshall, you've got issues. Look, like I said, I don't think either of them were ever part of the club. And what I mean by the club is the George Stephen Harrison Club. I really don't. I don't think they were allowed anywhere near it, and that's the problem for him. Meanwhile, for her, she's resentful. She has embraced fourth wave feminism, and this is the problem that we have now. Okay? So I wanted to put this out there. The box office is not good. And it's one of the many reasons I think that Iger is going to tell her she's gone. Board decided you're done. Okay, and again, for people in the cheap seats, if she's on 2-week paid suspension and you're not getting messages saying I'm on vacation from her Outlook, every office uses Outlook, then you've got something going on. And you can rationalize it all you want, but what you think is going on is definitely not going on. That's just misinformation and people who aren't experienced in this kind of thing. This is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.